My name is Ben Cormier. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've been with the Lord for 5 years now. So he called me in a very real way. He put some people in my life that made it obvious that he was calling me, and I surrendered my living will to him. After he had brought these 3 people into my life, I had realized that my own decisions weren't getting me anywhere in life, so I said, I'll do whatever you want. When I did that, when I truly surrendered my living will to him, said, not my will, but yours be done, essentially, I felt darkness drain out of my heart, and I felt his light come in, and I've had good and bad days since then, but I've had no dark days, and he has been with me ever since. So you and I actually met on a business trip. I'm a buyer for a company, and you're in manufacturing, and I'm obviously a buyer, so we do interior design, and I'm always on the road. I'm traveling to trade shows, I'm crunching numbers on a daily basis, touring manufacturing plants, and the Joshua Jar, after you introduced me to it and I looked it up online, it's been a great tool in stimulating me to, through the chaos of life, remember why I'm really here. It reconnects me to the real and only real important relationship in my life, which is him. The Joshua Jar, for me, has been an awesome reminder to keep him in my attention span, if that makes sense. It's really easy, especially at work, with high stress and constantly analyzing. Some days I forget to even eat because I'm so busy doing things at work. But when I see the jar and I see the rocks in my office, it reminds me to kind of close my door for a minute and just say some silent prayers for these people. You know, I've had the thing about 6 weeks and it's already halfway full. So he's already been answering a ton of questions and a ton of prayers that I've had, and I can just see it. They start to accumulate, and you get to see how involved God really is in our lives when we just talk to him. I ask God who I need to be praying for, and when he gives me somebody and he expresses that to me in my spirit, I will know in my heart that I should put their name on one of these rocks. And I take the Sharpie and I write their name on the rock. And something you do, which I'm going to start, is you put a small date for when you start praying, and then you put a big date whenever prayer gets answered. But I would write their name on the rock and I'll just pray for them. I put the rock outside the jar and it just sits there, and I see it every single day, and I pray for these people every single time I'm with the jar and I see the jar, and I look up and I remember, even if it's not even always this big elaborate prayer, sometimes it's just like, God, these rocks, you know these people, I'm in a hurry, but I'm coming to you right now. I give these people to you. You know what they need. So even if it's not as in-depth of a prayer and as intimate or as detailed of a prayer as some of the more heartfelt ones are, it's right there. And it is inspiring me and encouraging me to actually communicate with God more frequently than I would have if the jar wasn't there. Now, like I said, there's no substitute for the relationship. The jar is not my relationship with God. I'm not a Christian because I have the jar, but because I have a relationship with God, with Christ, that jar is an incredible tool that stimulates me to remember to pray for him or pray for the people in my lives. I say him because I have this one in particular rock that I know I'm going to be hanging on to for a lifetime. It's a really great friend of mine who has some really deep internal struggles. Yeah, when God answers it, I'm looking forward to the day when I put that rock in the jar with a big old date on the back.